Aujourd'hui, je vais parler de, well, it's a pretty special time of my life because I have now been retired from the corporate grind for a whole 5 years. Okay, wow. Honestly, even I'm still a little surprised. So I will just be reflecting on some major lessons, I guess we could call it, during this most curious period of my life. Hey, I'm XenPuck. So, it is now December of 2023, and that means, oh boy, I've been officially retired early for over 5 years. My last day at work was literally the end of November in 2018. So yep, 5 years without a corporate overlord, and despite all the insinuations from former colleagues and my own family, I am doing A-okay. I mean, in some ways I'd say I'm doing more than okay, but hey, no need to brag at this stage of my life, right? So instead today I think I will limit my rant to some commonly asked about questions in terms of retiring early that I've gotten from both real life people and just general internet trolls. Because let's face it, the decision I made to simply step away from a high-paying job is not a popular one, okay? Many people hasn't continued to question it. But I think 5 years is a pretty reasonable sample size of personal data to reflect on. Yes, I know it's still anecdotal data, but it's been long enough. I gotta say, I'm just so excited today to rant about this topic that's so dear to my heart. So if you're watching this, I hope you can see it, or rather, hear it in my voice, right? Anyway, if you're intrigued by what I might say, please subscribe, like, comment, share, and all that social media buzzwords, or whatever, because I'm rich enough for me. That'll be great regardless. So number one, the most common question that I get about FIRE, aka financial independence, retire early is, well, what are you gonna do? Won't you be bored? So what have I been doing? And am I bored? I'd say I've just been working on stuff that I want, right? Ignoring doing things that I do just for the money. It's simple as that. So I am trying to learn how to swim this year because it seems like a shame that as an adult I don't know that pretty crucial life skill. I play pickleball pretty regularly, I play video games, I might get more into retro gaming generally as well. I manage our household finances actually because I have more time, not because I'm a dude, because I would happily hand off this task to my very capable wifey whenever she'd like, or if she asks, right? But I'm totally fine with doing that as well. Because obviously I know how to handle money easily, or I wouldn't be in the position to step away from regular work entirely, right? I also volunteer at the library every week that I can. We go to the movies on Tuesday afternoons these days when it's the best value. We have gone on very long trips overseas this year, because why not? We also visit our hometowns on random months because our schedules are incredibly flexible. And you know what I don't do? Answer any work calls because I feel obligated to. So am I bored? Absolutely not. There are literally 1,000 other life skills that I can get better at, and I'm totally okay with learning any and all of those very slowly at my own pace as it pleases me, right? That is all. Second question that I get asked a lot. Well, how's your money situation or net worth doing? AKA, have I run out of money yet? AKA, when am I gonna get a job again? Okay, let's dig into this one, okay? In these 5 years, right, I am the one that has paid for the vast majority of our expenses, right? I need to make that distinction because I definitely don't want to make it sound like my lovely wifey doesn't contribute anything. She does. But I also told her to let me handle paying our general combined expenses, if only to show, not tell her, that we have enough money to retire together. So the last few years, we're just a running example of that, right? My wifey, of course, has her own dough and does not need to depend on me. God bless her for that. So she certainly will make purchases for our household sometimes just because she can. But mainly, I wanted her to keep her money so that it keeps growing while I pay for how we live. After all, how else can I convince her quit her job, right? That we should be okay even in that case. So my net worth in the way that I calculated based on when I just retired as a single person, after 5 years, I'd say on average has increased by a couple of $100,000 per year, okay? Yeah, so I'm doing great. But there is another way to look at net worth, right? If I compare my net worth at retirement 5 years ago versus our combined household net worth as a couple now, then our net worth is almost, I would say it's almost double of what we started out at 5 years ago. Now, I'd call that explosive growth, right? Of course, the majority of that was due to my wifey still working for the majority of the past 5 years, right? But still, think about it like that. If I worked for 5 more years, would my net worth has doubled? Maybe, but me having picked the right partner in life, yeah, I can see now why people say picking the right person matters so much for finances, right? So when am I going to get a job again? Most likely never still. Sorry. Finally, has everything gone to expectations then? It has been in 5 years after all, and frankly for me the answer is absolutely not, right? I went through COVID just like everybody else and the fairly significant market dip of 2022. My expectation when I retired was that I would move to a relatively low cost of living area and really just live minimally for a while, right? Instead, let me count all the unexpected expenses that I've had in the last 5 years, right? I was chasing the love of my life across the country for at least a good year. I bought an engagement ring, I bought another house, I bought her car lease out, I paid for more than half of the wedding cost in a very high cost of living area. I moved again, I dealt with renovations on this new house for multiple years during COVID. And then we went on the longest vacation we could have imagined on the French Riviera. And those are just the big items. So yeah, I definitely cannot say that I've actually lived minimally as I thought I would have by myself. But hey, I picked a lady with bougie taste and that's on me. Obviously, having the entire COVID era in these 5 years was also weird, but that honestly didn't affect me because I'm an introvert, right? It's not like I have to worry about what in or out of office policies my job would have. Instead, I use that time to learn how to cook, so at least decrease the food budget to pay for all that other fun stuff, right? Anyway, I'm not saying that I haven't had any hiccups in the past 5 years. Of course I have, right? But I recognize that they are all, at worst, first world problems. So, in conclusion, 5 years of early retirement for me later, and less than a year into my wifey's early retirement with me, I just have to say there's nothing like not having to wake up to someone else's tune. I mean, I often say every day is like a Saturday or Sunday or Christmas at this point. I mean, why wouldn't it? I can afford everything I'd ever want. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to buy all that junk that is available, because frankly, once I know I can afford something, nothing means as much to me, right? Instead, I focus on what really makes me happy, and having freedom to pick and choose how and what to spend time on is just incalculable in terms of value. I mean, honestly, my biggest problem with how I talk about FIRE is it's really hard to describe what having true freedom again really feels like to people who are still stuck to their jobs, right? I am sorry, I'm not that smart. Maybe one day I'll find that perfect, appropriate analogy. I will keep trying, because for now I can only ask you to imagine it, right? Because it's really quite strange, and until you have it, may it remain a mystery, right? So think about what you want to do and whether you think maybe retire early is a goal worth pursuing, okay? Cheers. I'll approach it.